Well, I saw Bruce sparring and stuff, and it was interesting. He did the two-finger push-ups, but I saw some amazing stuff in Taiwan. See, one of the things we had was that we would bring guys up to the service club I had, and we would do shows and stuff. And one of them would be every now and then martial arts stuffs up in there. I'd bring an old guy up, and he pounded nails through a 4x4 with his forehead, and left no mark on it. You know, guys breaking stones and stuff, and the usual, you know, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. This one guy, he was amazing. He must have been about 80, 85 years old, and he had a thing called touch and fall. He could lay on the ground and stretch his muscles and bounce up about 1.5 feet off the ground, laying flat. And so a guy would get on top of him, boom, he'd be on top of him. He was an amazing guy. And he had a thing so this guy would punch and he would go boom and touch his shoulder and his hip, and the guy'd fly through the air. And afterwards, this big Air Force guy says, "I bet you can't do it to me." And he said to the guy, assistant said, "Go ahead." The guy punched, and then there's a guy flying through the air, you know. The guy was amazing. So I saw some amazing stuff there. I saw some good people. And, and so when I saw Bruce, I thought, this is interesting, it's good, I'd like to do it someday, but it wouldn't go, wow, this is the best guy I've ever seen in my life, you know. And it wasn't until I started taking the JKD and then looking at what I learned, and I realizing, you know, this is a lot better than anything I've ever seen, you know, and it's just a lot more efficient and it works much better. And the reason that I really kind of was starting to doubt some of the stuff, because the southern Taiwanese guy, actually the Taiwanese man. So there's mainland people from mainland China that came, and then there's native Taiwanese. The Japanese were there for so long. He had the belts. Well, he did sparring, pretty hard sparring, you know, non-contact, but you get hit quite a bit. And the northern guys didn't. We just did forms and stuff. So one day, the young guy was my last teacher there. He taught me all kinds of chin-on, all this stuff, and he said, well, let's spar around a little bit. I beat him, because I was sparring all the time and he wasn't, you know, so I knew how to make it work. So I kind of went, whoa, this is interesting. So I was ready for the JKD. My mind had been opened at that point, but I just didn't have the pathway. So when I started with the JKD and Bruce was in Hong Kong, that's basically all we did was JKD, pure JKD. Dan was teaching that, and then we'd do a half hour of a scream afterwards if you wanted to. You know, some guys went home, some took it. And I started looking at all this stuff I learned in Taiwan, and I said, you know, a lot of this stuff just isn't as good. It's not going to work as well. It's not as efficient. It doesn't control time. It doesn't control distance. And I just realized what the genius of Bruce was. But I can't say that I appreciated it when I saw him in '67. It's not really, you know, it's like the fan base thing. It wasn't until I really started knowing it that I appreciated it a lot.